Welcome again to the Healthcare and the Practitioners program. On today's episode, you're going to learn some few tips on organic food and processed foods. And what do you think processed food? There's so many things that people think about processed food, and some people think about organic food, but you have to weigh the options. And in your choices of day-to-day food intake, you know what you're eating, the content, and how to make the most of what is available so that you don't overfeed yourself and you don't eat what you don't need. Ride along with me today on the benefits of organic foods and processed food. My name is Tobore Ojenima Lichmo, and today's episode you will learn 1 or 2 tips to keep healthy. Today's topic is benefits of organic foods over processed foods. Benefits of organic foods over processed foods. Organic foods are grown and they are in their natural state. They do not contain chemicals. Nothing to preserve. No preservative is used. No irradiation. No synthetic additives. No genetically modified organism added to this food. It comes in their natural state. Whereas processed food are foods that have been altered in some way from their natural state. Processed foods are foods changed from their natural state. It can be a form of heating, a form of pasteurizing, canned food, frozen food, dried food, and packaged food. Processed food comes, in summary, like freezing, canning, and baking. And what are the concerns with processed food? There are 3 major concerns with processed food. Either there is too much salt, or there is too much fat content, or there is too much sugar content. So what do you do? The first thing you have to think about is that, are these things beneficial to my health? Too much sugar, we know that doesn't contribute to your health. So what do? You have to check the content when you go and buy food, because it is important for you to know what you are eating, because you are what you eat. And if what you eat is not good, it can cause you more harm than good. So let's take fats for example. Fat has 2 types we have 2 types of fats: saturated fat and the unsaturated fat. Now the saturated fat, too much of it can lead to high cholesterol in the body. So you don't need that. So when you're making your food choices, check the content. So we will go through the 5 tips that will help in making the wise choices for food. So don't take it for granted. Be intentional with the choices of food you consume. Remember that in organic food, the major advantage is that the salt content, the sugar content, and the fat content comes in the perfect content for the body. So you have to take more of organic food. So tip number 1, check the food label. Use labels to help you to cut down on what you don't need. Check the food label. Number 2, familiarize yourself with the color coding for food. We have it uses the traffic light coding, that is red, amber, and green. So anything that is saying red, you know that that is too much. So it may come high by 100 grams. You see? So that is the red one. For the medium one, which is the amber color, so it says this is medium. So if let's say it's 50% of this amount of food, focus more on eating food. And when you see the label that shows green, it shows low content of this particular fat or sugar or salt in that food. So be careful, use the traffic light system to make the choices. Read the labels, check the content, because every manufacturer is supposed to show you the content of what's there is in the food. Especially in processed food, they should state whether there's this amount of salt, this amount of fat, and this amount of carbohydrate and other stuff. So you need to check for yourself and make your choices. Number 3, eat less sugars. More than 22.5 grams of total sugars per 100 grams means the food is high in sugar, while 5 grams of total sugar or less in 100 grams means the food is low in sugar. So you need to check the content. Number 4, eat less fat food. On average, men should have no more than 30 grams of saturated fat per day. On the average, women should not have more than 20 grams of saturated fat per day. Children under 11 should have less saturated fats than adults. Then number 5, eat less salt. More than 1.5 grams of salt per 100 grams means food is too high in salt. You don't need more than 6 grams of salt per day for any adult. So in conclusion, low salt, low sugar, low fat content, and that is the benefit of what organic does over processed foods. I'm sure you have learned 1 or 2 things from this video. Thank you very much for watching, and remember that health is wealth, and what you give attention to works. So if you give attention to eating well and adequately, the right content, the right preparation, you're surely going to stay healthy and fit and less hospital visits. Thank you and bye.